3. The Widow at the Door. One evening, as the light faded and the street softened into shadow, there came a knock at Dorcas's door. She opened it and saw a widow named Naomi standing there. Naomi's face was tired, and her hands trembled around the edge of her shawl. "Peace to you," Dorcas said. Naomi tried to answer, but her voice broke. Dorcas stepped aside. "Come in." Naomi entered slowly. She sat near the lamp, and for a moment she said nothing. Dorcas waited. She had learned that grief cannot be rushed. At last Naomi whispered, "The cold is coming. I thought I had enough, but my cloak is torn badly. I tried to mend it, but the fabric is too weak. I did not want to trouble you." Dorcas knelt beside her. "You are not a trouble." Naomi lowered her eyes. "Others have their own burdens." "Yes," Dorcas said gently, "and we help carry one another's burdens." Dorcas took the torn cloak and examined it. It was thin, faded, and frayed at the edges. A harsh winter wind would pass through it easily. "I can repair some of this," Dorcas said, "but you need another cloak." Naomi shook her head quickly. "No, I cannot pay." "I did not ask for payment." Tears filled Naomi's eyes. "Why do you do this for me?" Dorcas was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "Because the Lord has been merciful to me. How can I receive His kindness and not share kindness?" Naomi wept then, not loudly, but deeply. The kind of weeping that comes when someone has been strong too long and suddenly finds a safe place to be weak. Dorcas sat with her. She did not say too much. She did not try to explain away her pain. She simply stayed. Later, after Naomi had gone home, Dorcas worked late into the night. The lamp burned low. Her fingers grew sore. But by morning, a new cloak lay folded on the table. It was not royal, it was not expensive, but it was warm. When Naomi received it, she pressed it to her face and whispered, "God has remembered me." Dorcas answered, "Yes, He has." Lesson: compassion is more than feeling sorry for someone. Compassion moves toward suffering. Dorcas did not merely say, "I hope you stay warm." She helped Naomi stay warm. James 2:15-16 says that if someone is without clothes and daily food, and we say, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but do nothing about their needs, what good is that? Dorcas lived the opposite way. Her faith had hands. 4. The community of the forgotten. Over time, Dorcas became known among the widows of Joppa. One by one, they found their way to her. There was Miriam, whose sons had moved far away. There was Hannah, who still reached in the night for a husband who was no longer there. There was Ruth, who cared for 2 grandchildren after sickness took their parents. There was Leah, whose eyesight had begun to fail. There was Esther, who laughed loudly in public but cried in private. They were different women, with different stories, different wounds, different fears. But Dorcas loved them each with practical tenderness. She learned who needed food. She learned whose roof leaked. She learned which child needed sandals. She learned who was too proud to ask for help but would accept a mistaken extra loaf of bread. She learned who needed a garment and who needed conversation. Sometimes the widows gathered in her home. They brought what little they had. One brought olives. Another brought bread. Another brought a song from her childhood. Another brought silence, because silence was all she had strength for. Dorcas welcomed all of it. Her house became a place where grief did not have to hide, a place where laughter slowly returned, a place where the poor were not treated like interruptions. One afternoon, as they sat together, Ruth said, "When my husband died, I thought my life had ended with his." Hannah nodded. "So did I." Naomi touched the edge of her cloak, the one Dorcas had made. "But the Lord sent us a sister." Dorcas shook her head. "The Lord gave us one another." That was how she saw it. She was not above them, handing kindness down. She was among them, sharing love across the table. Lesson: true service does not treat people as projects. Dorcas did not serve the widows to feel important. She did not use their need to build her reputation. She entered relationship with them. Compassion says, "You are not invisible." Practical service says, "Your needs matter." Christian love says, "You are family." God's love is not cold charity. It is warm, personal, and faithful. 5. Always doing good. The Bible says Dorcas was always doing good. That does not mean she never rested. It does not mean she never felt tired. It means goodness had become the direction of her life. Some people do good only when it is convenient. Dorcas did good as a way of living. When there was extra cloth, she saw possibility. When there was extra bread, she saw someone hungry. When there was time, she saw opportunity. When there was suffering, she saw a call. She did not wait until she had everything. She used what she had. Perhaps she sometimes felt the limits of her own strength. Perhaps she looked at the needs around her and thought, "Lord, there is so much." But then she would pick up one garment, visit one widow, feed one child, comfort one heart. She could not do everything, but she could do something. And she did. Lesson. Many people do nothing because they cannot do everything. Dorcas teaches us to begin with what is in front of us. One meal, one visit, one phone call, one gift, one prayer, one repaired coat, one act of mercy. God often multiplies love when ordinary people faithfully do the next right thing.